Hello everyone and welcome to Lucknow Meetup. This is the 11th virtual meetup for Lucknow, and today we have Mastan with us who will guide us with CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins. So the organizer for this meetups are Akub, Rutuja and myself. Mastan, next slide please. So
Yeah.
Akub, would you like to introduce yourself please?
Yes, thanks, Abhishek. So this is Akib Javed. So I am working as a senior associate in Cognizant. I have total 7+ years of experience, and I'm also certified architect and developer, and I'm also Mulesoft mentor, and I'm leading this Lucknow meetup group. So me and Abhishek and Ratuja, we three of us lead this Mulesoft meetup, and this is our 11th meetup. So happy to see you guys here, and thank you, Mastan, for your time and taking this session on this very important topic in our MuleSoft framework. So yeah, over to you, Abhishek.
Yeah, thank you Akub. So our co-host Rutuja is not present today. So let me introduce myself. So hi, this is Abhishek. I'm working as an associate solution architect in Apicero, recently promoted as a Mulesoft ambassador. I have overall of 6+ years of experience and 4+ years in Mulesoft. I am leading Guwahati and Lucknow Meetup group, and I am MCD certified and architect. I'm Mulesoft certified developer and architect. So over to you, Mastan. So Mastan is a speaker for our group today, and this is his first meetup as a speaker. So all the best and kudos to you, Mastan. Thank you for taking this up and coming forward, nominating yourself for being a speaker. It's a very good thing. Like you nominated yourself, and I suggest everyone should come up, nominate themselves for speaker, and we are going to help you anyone. Yeah, Mastan. Over
Yeah,
to you
sure.
now. All
Thanks, Abhishek.
yeah.
Thanks for the introduction, first of all, and also thanks, Javed, for the introduction. And yeah, first of all, I would like to thanks Abhishek for the opportunity. So you have encouraged me a lot to become a speaker. Speaker in Meetup. So coming to the myself, I'm a Mulesoft developer. 4+ years of experience in the IT industry. So coming to the Mule, I do have knowledge on, 2+ years of experience as a Mulesoft developer. And apart from the Mule, I do have the knowledge on other integration platforms as well. So that is ICS Integration Cloud Service, which is owned by Oracle. And apart from this one, I have Snowflake as well. So these are all the knowledge that we have apart from the MuleSoft. And coming to the topic, so nothing to the topic, and these are the safe harbor statement first of all. And so coming to these statements, both speaker and then host are organizing this meetup for setting, and we are not representing our companies here. So and this is strictly for learning purpose, and also the same solution will work for your business requirement. Presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. So these are the statements. And coming to the housekeeping, so the recording for this particular meetup will uploaded after 24, within 24 hours in the events page. Submitted your questions in the question and answer section, and whenever we have time and in between, we'll try to answer your questions. And yeah, please make it more interactive so that it will be, it will be good actually. So instead of I'm then the speaker and you're just listening what I'm saying. So instead of that, if you can, it will be more interactive. Then it will be helpful.
Yes,
So
just to
last but
add,
not least,
yeah, just
yeah,
to
go
add
ahead,
in
go ahead.
that, like, please feel free to put your questions in the chat, okay, and we'll try to answer it as quickly as we can, okay, and the recordings will be there in the meetup page within 24 hours, so you can. I'm just sharing you the link for our meetup page. You can also join our meetup page, so if there is any update, you will get it, and the videos and everything will be over there in this meetup page. And at last, the most important, like, please give your feedback, because that is very much important for both the speaker and the organizer, so we can improve. And you can suggest like what would be the next topic you want us to bring in our meetup, and we'll try to bring that up. So please fill up the feedback. Once the meetup is done, you will get a feedback form in your email, and you can just fill it up. Yeah, over to you, Mustan.
Yeah, I think for me it will be more encourageable actually, as if
Yeah.
this is the first meetup as a speaker. Yeah, if you can give me your valuable feedback. So yeah, I'll just take it up. the bad. So if it is a bad, I'll try to improve. If it is, then I'll try to improve.
Correct.
Yeah, and we do also have a WhatsApp group. So we will paste the link for that WhatsApp group. You can join us in that, and you can discuss questions and solutions in that group. Okay, Mastan, you can go.
So yeah, so with this small introduction, I'm just starting. What are all the prerequisites that are required so to create the CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins? So the first, you install Jenkins in your machine, and after that, you need to create account and also you need to install the Git software in your machine. These two, you should create one sample project in Anypoint Studio. Basically, I'm just telling you this. The main intention behind this is not only for the experienced people. So, who are the people who don't know how to create the Jenkins pipeline, who don't know about to create the simple project in the Anypoint Studio. So, I'm just here. Is the IDE which we are using to implement any logic when it comes to the Mulesoft side. So that one as well in this particular meter. So these are the prerequisites to create the CI/CD pipeline using the Jenkins. So with this, yeah. So if you wanted to install Jenkins in your machine, so first you should go to this your browser, that is www.jenkins.io. So once you will open this particular browser, the page will the page will open like this. So after that, you just need to click on this download icon over here. So you will click on the download button, then the page will be appear like this. Basically, two types of release here. One is stabilized release, so they will every 12 weeks actually, and when it comes to the regular page, we release this one on a weekly basis. So I'm just going with the first option and see any past releases. So there is an option called past. I mean the third one here in the blue color. So if you could just click on this past releases, then the page will be open like this, so that you can just check versions that they have released it, the modified date. So based on that, you can just quickly check what are all the previous versions date. And coming to the latest version, yeah. So 3.3.2.1 is the latest version. So you select the first option and then go to this uh, it means let me just quickly check this one. The one long-term support. So if you just click on this one, then it will be open the page like this. You can just select this long-term support one, and it will download one WAR file. So I'll just show you in the demo how it will be downloadable, and then what are all the steps that follow to install the Jenkins in your machine. So once you will just start downloading in your machine, and also these are the which are required if you wanted to install Jenkins in your machine. So 256 MB of RAM and then 1 GB of hard drive. So these two are the minimum requirements. But when it comes to the recommended hardware requirements, I recommend plus RAM and then 50 GB plus space in your machine. So it will be good actually things as a hardware. And coming to the software requirement, so we need to install Java as a prerequisite to install Jenkins. And with this, yeah, I'm just highlighting here. So what is the version and what is the WAR file that you need to download? And once you click on this one, it just started. So your download. So this is the command which you need to run. You just start to initialize the server based on this downloaded. So once you run this command, then it will just show you it's just fully up and running. And also, if this is the first time, then it will give you one initialized admin password. So what we need to do with this password here is you just need to unlock your account if you are installing for the first time. All the steps that are required to unlock your account, how you can create the username and password at the time of installation. And also one more thing here. I mean, at the time of installation, Jenkins by default will work on the port. By default port is 8080. So you change this default port. You just need to change of installation. So let me just go to the other slide here. So yeah, this is how it will just initial admin password, and also this will be visible in this particular path here. See users and then whatever the username. So one it will just create a folder with the dot and there is more folder created admin secrets. So where you need to find this initial admin password. Remember that if first time you installing this one, this will be in your. So I already did this one, so that is the reason for my case it will not visible. But if you are just doing for the first time, then you should be able to see this file. And if you just open this file, then you'll be able to see this initial password, whatever the one which you are which one you are seeing here. So the same thing will be visible in this application. And yeah, so this is how it will generate the file if you are installing first time. And yeah, you just need to unlock Jenkins in your machine by making initial password which we have generated in the previous step. And so this initial login password here, and then you just click on the continue. So after that, it will just ask you to install some suggested plugins, or else you can go with the second option like select plugins to install. So if you wanted to install any specific plugin, you just go and select. But it is highly recommended to choose the first option so that it will install all the suggested plugins. So what are all the things that Jenkins is required to create this one? So it will by default install all the plugins. So once you just click on this first option, then it is just starting plugins which are by default required for the Jenkins. So if you can see here, once it will be completed, it will just show you with the green tick mark. And then if something is not installed, say for example, if some, and then you can just try to, you can just go with the retry option to install those things. If not, you can just click on as well. So later, if there is any plugin that you wanted to install, you can just go with the manage plugin option that I will show you later in the demo. So if you wanted to retry here itself, then you can just go with option, and then after installing it successfully, then you can just click on the continue. And so once you will install this suggested plugins, then it will ask you to create username and password. So if you don't want to create username and password also, that should be fine, because at the time of installing this Jenkins in your machine, it will just create one username and password, that is default admin, and then password is also admin. So that by default it will come. So if you wanted to create your own username and password, you just need to give username and password, and also the basic details like full name and then email address. So once you will provide these details, you can just click on save and continue. And if you don't want to create, you can just select skip and continue as an admin. So these are the two options that we have. And once you will provide these basic credentials, then the Jenkins is now ready, and then setup is complete. So if you just start clicking on this one, start using Jenkins button over here, then it will just open the page like this. And once it will be fully up and running, then you can just open your browser, and then if you can enter this particular URL localhost colon 8080. So what I mean, as mentioned earlier, 8080 is the default port actually. So it will run by default with the 8080 port. So if you have changed at the time of installation, the port which you have given, just to remember that port, and then you should give that particular port if you wanted to access the Jenkins in your browser after completion of your installation. So this is how the UI will looks like once you will click on this local host and the port number which you have given. And after that, so this is for the first time. And say for example, next time, and if you wanted to start this Jenkins server again, so then you just go and run this command in the command prompt, so that it will just show you once it will started, then it will just show you Jenkins fully up and running. Once it will be the successful message will come, then you can just go and access this particular Jenkins server actually, based on the port which you have given. So this is how you can install the Jenkins in your machine. So any questions as of now? Hussein? So I'm just presenting this one, so that's what I'm unable to
No,
see the questions.
no, Masan. We are checking the chat, so there are no questions.
Okay, so thank you. So with this, so the Jenkins installation has been done. So after that, as I said, the second prerequisite is to set up a GitHub account, and also you need to install the Git software in your machine. And see. And this localhost 8080 port which you have given. So it will just ask you provide the details, username and password. So if you have created your account, then you need to provide those details. If not, you can just simply click admin as a username and then password also the same. So by default it will be there actually. And after that, see, if you wanted to change the port number, so this is how it will ask you whether you will whether you wanted to continue with the default port, or if you wanted to change, you can just simply change the port over here in the instance configuration. So after that, you can just click on finish, and it will just take the port number which you have given. And also one more thing here, we are just installing this particular Jenkins software in our machine. So that is the reason the host it is showing as a local host. But if you are using any EC2 server on any on server, then it will just show you whatever the host it might be. Then it will just show you that particular host. And yeah, so this is the URL which you need to go if you wanted to download Git exe file. And once you will go to this particular URL in your browser, it will just show you what is the software which you are using. I mean, whatever the file, what is the suitable file for you. Whether if you are using Mac, then you can just simply click on this Mac OS. And if you are using Linux or Unix, then you can go with this third option. But for my case, I'm just using Windows. So that is the reason I have highlighted Windows as a OS here. And then the latest release for this Git executable file is 2.35.1. And once you will click on this particular Windows option, it will just start downloading the exe file for you. And once it will just, once it will be completed to download the software, you can just click on this one and then run as an administrator, and then choose that particular option. And then, so whatever the options that you are getting, you can just go with all the default options at the time of installing the Git. And once you will choose with all the default option, you can just simply click on finish. Launch, then you can just check this one. If you don't want to launch, you can just click on finish button over here. So once you will be completed the installation of your Git in your local machine, then you can go and you can go for the github.com in the browser, and you need to create one account. So providing the by providing your email, and also you need to provide the username and password. So it will ask you the basic things. So you need to provide those, and then you need to sign up just to create the GitHub account. And after that, so once you sign up, so the page will be look like this, and then you need to create one repository. So based on the repository, then it's just a kind of a folder. So whatever the folder which we have created in our mission, so you need to create the repository in the GitHub account, and then you will just over there. So once you will create the repositories, it will just show you the list of repositories which you have created in your GitHub account. See, in my case, I'm having CI/CD and then develop project repository. So these are all the list of repositories that I have created for my account. And after that, once you will complete the repository, then at the time of creating the repository, you can just give us the permissions, like whether you wanted to create that repository as a public purpose, or if you wanted to create this repository as a private. In the organization point of view, we can create repository because we don't want to expose all the projects. So that is the reason we will go with the private. But just for demonstration purpose, I have choose this public option. And at the time of creating the repository, so if you wanted to include any default files here, so you can just simply check these options, and then click on OK, so that it will create the repositories, and you will be able to see the list of repositories like this. And yeah, so after that, once you will completed creating this repository, and create the different branches in that particular repository as well. So why we are creating the number of branches here? I mean, at the time of creating this particular branch, by default it will take the main branch or master branch. So this is the final one. If the code will go live, then by default it will take this main branch. And if you wanted to create any other branch, then we can number of branches. So there is no button over there just to create the branch. First you need to click on this one. See this find or create branch. If you can just click on any name, then it will ask you to create whatever the branch which you are going to. That I will show you in the demo as well. So how we can create the branch from the active branch. Say for example, if there are multiple branches, and so in my case, the main branch is the active branch over here, and I'm just trying to create one test branch. So it will ask you whether you are creating the branch from the main branch or not. So if the main branch is the active one, then it will ask you if you are creating this particular branch from the main. But the active branch other than main, then it will just ask you whether you wanted to create that particular branch from the active branch. That I will show you how we can create if there are multiple branch, so that you can make it as an active and then create as actually. I'm just passing here just to take if any questions are there.
No questions so far. So, like once I think you will start your demo, then people will be more clear and they may ask more questions. Then,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so now with this, I will just start the demo how we can create the Jenkins pipeline and how we can install and other stuff. So just to save the time, actually I have installed this Jenkins in my machine. So what I can do here is we will just share this PPT. So based on the screenshots which I PPT, you can just go through with one, so that you can download it. You can install the
Maybe you
Jenkins
can
in your
just
machine.
you Mastan, you can just show like we are like using this URL, and you can just show like the pages, how the pages are coming up. No need to like download or install and
Oh
everything,
yeah.
but you can just
Okay.
show that URL and show them how it is working.
Sure, sure.
All
Yeah.
options you talk
So
about,
this is
you
the
can
URL
show them.
you need to go. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So yeah, so if you wanted to download the Jenkins WAR file, so you just need to go to this particular URL as mentioned in the PPT. So once you'll go to this, there is an option called download here. Once you'll click on this one, then it will show you two. One is for long-term support and another one is for regular releases. So if you can click on this one, then it will just show you. I mean, so yeah, these are the options actually. If you wanted to refer what are all the pre-releases earlier they have released, and if you wanted to download this WAR file, on this one, the Jenkins file will be started and started. So this one will start downloading. So once it will be started, so we just need to run this command. Uh, Let me just show you that one as well. So yeah, this is the command. Enter this particular command, and then it will just show you Jenkins is fully up and running. See here, the Jenkins is fully up and running. And after that, you just need to enter this localhost and then 8080, so which is the default port, and then it will ask you the credentials. So at the time of installation, so we can create this particular account, and then by providing these details, you can just simply click on sign in. And yeah, so the UI will looks like this. And then if you wanted to create the pipeline using this Jenkins, so you just need to select the first option, that is new item, and you need to give some name called I'm just going to give Lucknow demo, Lucknow Mulesoft demo. Lucknow Mulesoft. Meetup demo. So this is going to give the name, and I'm just going with a freestyle project just to demonstration purpose. So if you wanted to create basically for the Maven project, or if you wanted to create this pipeline, these are the options which you are available. So if you wanted, I mean, if your project will specifically require to create any other thing, then you can just options as well. But for my case, I'm just going just to demonstration purpose, and then description. It is just an optional section. So if you wanted to provide any description related to your Jenkins pipeline, then you can enter the description. So in this case, I'm just going to give is the pipeline for demo purpose. I'm just going to give this description, nothing but pipeline for the demonstration purpose. And after that, there are multiple options actually. If you wanted to discard the old builds, then you can go with this option. So these are like not the mandatory options. So these are like purely optional. So if you wanted to create any specifically as per your project requirement, then you can go and choose this option. But yeah, for my case, it's just a demonstration purpose, and so I'm not going to select any other options over here. And for the source code management, so as I have created the GitHub account, which is used as a version control system, so that is the reason I'm just over here. And so the repository URL, let me just log into, and I'll show you what is the URL that we need to provide the Jenkins pipeline. So yeah, so this is the one the repository which created called CI/CD, and where I have a couple of branches. One is main is, so at the time of creating the repository, so the main master branch are the default one. By default, it will come. Another branch. Let me just show you how we can create the branch over here. Say for example, I'm just going to give Meetup. See here, the active branch is main here. So that is the reason it is just simply showing Meetup from the main branch. Or else, if you wanted to create the new branch from the develop branch, so what you need to do is, let me just remove this one, and then make it develop as the active branch in the repository. So if you can select this develop as an active branch in that particular repository under, so you can just simply click on this drop down and then enter the branching, whatever the branching which you wanted to give. So I'm just giving Meetup as the branch, and see here by default it will come create Meetup branch from the develop. So whatever the branch which is active over here, then it will just take this option. So this is how we can create the multi. And yeah, so I have already created the project and then committed the code over here. So Abhishek, can I show like that one also, how we can create the project and then how we can push the code?
Up to you. If you want, you can show.
Okay,
Sure.
let me just show you that one as well. Yeah. So for that one,
Like if you have that thing ready, then you can do that. Otherwise, like there are options. We use different tools. We can use source tree. We can use Git desktop, where we can clone and then we can like create a
yeah,
project
yeah,
inside
sure.
our studio
So
and then we can commit.
for this one, yeah. So as we have the code in this particular CI/CD branch, CI/CD repository under the branch develop, let me just show you how we can sync up with the remote repository from your local folder. So for this, what we should give over here is, I'm just going to create one folder here. So I'm just calling that particular folder name as a Git. So let me just create one folder, and then so after successfully installed Git in your machine, then you can will be able to see the options here, Git GUI and Git Bash. So once you will be completed the installation, then you can go with the second option. And yeah, so it will open like
So
this, and let me just,
Mastan, one
yeah.
question, like if I miss, so you install Git Bash also for this?
Yeah, I mean,
to get
Git
that
in the
option?
sense, by default, it will Git bash also.
Okay.
And yeah, so if you wanted to download the code from remote repository, so where you have created the repository called CI/CD here. So once you then you need to click on this option over here, and it will give you the cloned URL. So if you can check this one, it will just copy it, and git clone is the command. If you wanted to get the code from the first time, and hit enter. So now the local CI/CD is the repository which we have created. So we got the code from the remote repository under the username. So whatever the username which you have given, so it will just take the code from that particular repository. And if you wanted to go inside of this one, see, by default it will show you the main branch. And let me just check the files also here. See, here we have only readme.md file because in the main branch we have only one file here. So in the developers we have multiple files. If you can go here in the main branch, let me just select that one. So to the main branch. See, here we have only readme.md file. So here in the UI we are just simply selecting the branch and then able files. So from here git bash, you just need to write the command git space checkout. So checkout is the command if you wanted to switch the branch. So whatever under the CI/CD repository, so you just need to write git space checkout and the branch name. So in my case, I have developed branch. Let me just hit able to see here, right? So now it is just switching from main to develop branch. If you can go here, so now we are able to see the list of files that we have seen in the UI. So whatever the files which you are able to see here, in our local repository as well. So it means now we are sync up with the remote repository. So whatever the repository which we have created here with your local folder where you have created under Git. So once you will completed the code, one thing. So let me just open this one file. So if you want this and then push it from the local machine, then let me just show you how we can make the change. Taking just I'm just showing you the demonstration purpose, and also I will just record the changes as well. So whatever the changes which you have done in the whatever the code which you have cloned, so it is to the particular file, then it will just show you once you will enter git status command. Just show you in the red color. So this is the file which you have modified, that is palm.xml. So we made the changes, right? So that is the reason it is just showing you in the red color. So red color means it's just a kind of stage file. So if you wanted to add this particular thing into staging area, then you need to add this data. So again, if you can run this git status command, it will just show you in the green color. It means so now the staging area from unstaging area. And if you wanted to push this change, you need to enter the command git space commit. So it is nothing but the message. So whatever the message you this particular commit, so you need to enter -m. You just need to make the change. So I'm just giving the name here is made the changes for demo, so that if you can go particular commit ID based on commit ID, it will just show you the message as well. you have given, it will show you the remote repository as well. You will complete this one, git push. So as soon as you will just enter, it will just push the changes to your remote repository. See, now it is done. Let me show you how this changes has been pushed in the remote repository as well. So for this, see, if you can see here, so that 22 commits has been done. Agree with this. See, it will just show you the message, whatever message which you have given here in the git bash. It will just show you that particular message commit ID. So commit ID by default it will, and the commit message, whatever message which we have given at the time of push, it will just take that particular message. If you can see here by clicking this commit, it will, so whatever is there, so we have just removed this one, the cloud hub dot decode, which is there, and you have just removed that one. So by clicking on this particular commit ID, it will just show you what are all the changes which you have done. So this is how you can see what are all the changes which you have done as per the commit ID. Here, and this is the commit ID. And let me just go and revoke those changes. Going to enter this bit state. Again, it will show you modified convert. So I'm just going to add it to the staging. And if you can just give this upper arrow, then it will just show you the what are the commands which we have entered. And with this, I'm just going to write the messages, revoke the changes. And now let's here we have 20, right? So now this see 20 seconds ago we have committed, we have pushed the code with the message revoke the changes, and this is the commit with respect to the change. So this is how we can push the code, and let me just quickly show you how we can create the project in the Anypoint Studio, which is an IDE which is used to create the projects. So once you will download this one, you need to launch this particular IDE, and after that you can just go with the file, select the file option, and then select Mule, and then Mule project. And we need to give the project name, project name as demo, and then click on finish. And see, once it will be completed, whatever the project name which you have given, by default it will just take this name as a configuration file also. So at minimum, we need to create one .xml file. So that is the reason by default it is taking the project name. So yeah, Abhishek, I think you are just
so anyone any question is there any disturbance or lag, because I have little lag with your screen. So Akib, are you also facing the same little bit lagging in the screen, or when Mastan is talking then some disturbance, like can't hear it properly?
No. I think for few, I think millisecond, it is some voice is
Yeah.
not little started, but yet I think it is fine for me.
Okay, fine. So anyone any question?
okay.
It's fine, Mastan. Okay. No questions so
Okay,
far.
fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. So once you have created the project, and you just need to create one message source, and I'm just going just creating one simple project just to show you how we can create the project in Anypoint Studio. So with this, I'll just create a pipeline and then show you in the Jenkins. Just demo, and I'm just putting one simple. I'm just creating one sample project just to show you how we can create here. Yeah, this is how simple project in the Anypoint Studio. And if you wanted to sync up this particular project with the remote repository, so what you need to do is you just simply right click on the project, and whatever the folder which you have synced up with the remote repository, you can simply copy paste in this one here, and then you can sync up with the code. So whatever the commands which I have run in the git bash, so you can just simply check the git status and then add it to provide your commit message and then git push. So these are the use just to push the code into remote repository where you have created the just in it. So with this, we have completed how we can create a sample project in the studio, and then how we can sync up with the code with your remote repository. So once you don't have any questions, then I'll just show you how we can create the pipeline and how we can take the code from version control system. I mean, in our case, we are just taking GitHub as a version control system here. What are the details which we need to provide, and then I'll run this Jenkins pipeline.
Mustan, I guess you can go ahead. I don't see any questions here.
So yeah, as explained earlier, so once you'll click on this new item over here, let me just back here. So yeah, and you need to give the name as well. So let me just delete this one and then. So you need to click on the new item and then select the name, and the type of project is freestyle project here, and then click on OK. So after that, you just need. So as per the project kind of thing, you can provide the description and the source code management which we are using GitHub here. So you need to select the second option and provide the repository URL. So this is the repository URL where we can find in the GitHub account, and you just need to copy that particular URL and then paste it. And for the credentials, so here we are using the credentials, right, which you have given at the time of sign up. So similar way, we need to provide the credentials over here. So what the Jenkins pipeline will do here is on the repository URL and the credentials which you have provided here, it will just take the code from this particular GitHub URL and the credentials which you have given in this particular. And after that, you need branch as well. So here in my case, I have the code in develop branch. So there is no code in the main branch. So that is the reason write the develop branch here, so that it will just take the code from develop branch. And then these are the build triggers. Say for example, if you wanted to trigger your pipeline as per the schedule, then you can just go with this poll SCM. So if you can choose this particular option, you need to write some cron expression. Say, like if you wanted to trigger your pipeline daily once or weekly once, so kind of thing, if you wanted to customize your pipeline, then you can just go and select this option and then write the cron expressions as per your project requirement. So this is how we can enhance your pipelines as well in the Jenkins. And yeah, so if you wanted to delete your before build start, and then you can just go and choose this option. So like this, there are a few options actually. So you can just choose these options as per your requirement. And then this is the important section here, the build setup. And we are using Windows operating system, then you can go with the first option, and then you can go for. So in my case, it's Windows. Then I just simply click on this one, and you need to pass the runtime arguments here. So here is the code level which I have shown you in the form.xml, right? See, this is the. So this is the deployment section where you wanted to deploy the application. Runtime Manager and Independent Platform is the section. Under this Independent Platform, Runtime Manager is the one where we have deployed the applications in the cloud. So let me just show you what is the section which I am talking about. So this is the Independent Platform where you want, which is provided by the Mulesoft, which is the cloud one. If you go here, Runtime Manager, here you will see the applications which you have deployed. See, in my case, I don't have any applications right now, and if you can provide these details, deployment details in the form.xml, so Jenkins pipeline will understand. So this is the URL, anypoint.mulesoft.com. So if you can go and check the browser here, see, anypoint.mulesoft.com is the URL. So the same one which we are trying to give in our. So this is the one, and the Mule version. So what is the version which you wanted to run your application? So you need, and then username and then password, and also the environment. If you can go here, there are a couple of environments as we are using retail account. But if it is a licensed version, then we can see the multiple environments as retail and then production and also the developer. So these kind of versions you'll see. But this, as this is a free trial account, you'll be able to see. And I am just going to use the sandbox environment just to deploy the application. So that is the reason I'm the environment that I need to go on applications using the pipeline here. And name is nothing but application name. So whatever the name, whatever the display name, display here in the Runtime Manager. And after that, so what is the business group which you wanted to do? So in my CICD is the one, the business group which I'm going to use, and also the V core. So these two are the minimum requirements actually. So V core, but what is the size which you wanted to give? The number of workers. So how many workers to use for your application? And so this is the option. And so these are all the minimum. So if you wanted to deploy the application in the runtime manager. So with this, these things in the technical manner. So you need to provide these values as an argument. So this is. So this is the one which we need to give in the comment section over here. So what you will understand here is, so here it is a Mule version. So we need to give Mule to Mule version. So we need to make it as Mule version. So whatever the name which we have given section in our project form.xml. So it should be matched exactly same with the runtime arguments which you are trying to pass it through the Jenkins pipeline. See here any point dot username and also dot username and any point dot here also any point dot password. And so yeah, the environment which I have mentioned, which I'm going to use, and application which I'm going to give demo project, and also the business group is CICD. Micro is the vcore which we are using, and worker is one worker. So these are the basic details if you want to create the Jenkins pipeline in your whatever the server which you are using. So localhost and then 8080 is the port. And once you provide all these details, then see, let me just show you the configuration I created earlier. And this is and the credentials, and this is the branch. And if you can see here, so these are the details which you need to pass as an arguments from the Jenkins pipeline. So once you will provide all these details, you can just click on apply and then save. So once you will completed this by creating this pipeline, go and click on this build now option. So once you will click on this one, it will just show you in the build history. Number 36, which I am going to run this one, will just show you the date and then time as well. And if you wanted to see the logs of this particular, you can just select that one and then go to the console output option. Now it is showing create an application, Lucknow Meetup demo project. What the pipeline is trying to do here is it will just take the code from the remote repository URL which you have provided, and it will just take the code from repository and then deploy it into. So based on the arguments which we have passed in the configuration section, it will just take the values and then pass all these values as in properties and then deploy the application into. I think it will just take a couple of minutes. So let's wait. It will start the runtime manager.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if anyone have any question, they can ask.
So Mastan, what is the trigger here? So right now you opened the Jenkins and clicked on build now, right? But let's say if someone is
Correct.
into the branch, so the where will set that trigger. So let's say if I merge the branch into develop, it should auto trigger this build.
For that one, actually we need to create a pull request. Say for example, so if you want to match the code from develop to main branch, so you should create a pull request, and then whoever have access to the button, so they will take that pull request and then merge the code into the main branch, and then they will just click on the build now, and then it will
No, no,
deploy the
no.
code into the production system.
No, no, Mustan. What happens, like what he's asking, whenever someone, now suppose I have a development branch, okay, and we don't need any permission. So as of I have committed the code and I have committed the code, I don't need to do any like merge request because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not merging with any other branch. So as soon as I put it to develop,
Correct.
it should automatically trigger. So in Git, in this like Jenkins, we have a settings where we can decide like for the first 5 commit only it should automatically trigger. Other than that it should be done manually. Okay. So there is a settings in Jenkins which we can do, like which we can enable for
Yes. So
automatically
if you
build
want
it.
it to automatically, then you can just
Yeah.
simply go here and then you can define in here as well. So based on the see the build triggers, there are multiple options. So if you wanted to build this periodically, then you can choose this option. Or if you wanted to write any cron expression, then you can go to this particular option. And based on the timeline which we have provided, it will just automatically trigger.
Yeah. So here
And there are some hooks also, right? This is just to it will build periodically, but in the Jenkins we have some hooks option also. So whenever someone commits the code or pushes the code into the dev branch, then it will automatically trigger that pipeline. So right now we are doing it manually, right? So there are some hooks option also available in the Jenkins setting. That was Abhishek is saying.